So welcome to the Globe International Virtual Science Symposium informational webinar. I am thrilled to see all of you here. And as we get started here, I want to mention a couple of things. One is that if you have any questions, please feel free to put those into the chat window. And I'd also like to see where everybody's from. So if you wouldn't mind typing your name and where you're from, if you haven't already, it'd be great to see where everybody is calling in from today. So go ahead and put in there, and I see we have some students in here also, which is wonderful. Looks like we have people from Croatia, Uruguay, Peru, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, California. This is wonderful. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to type those into the chat window, and I will try to address them as I go through. If you have any technical issues, if you have sound issues or any other kind of things you need to talk about, we have two people from our community support team who are online to help you. We have Eslam and Roller, so thank you both for being here. And let's go ahead and get started. And also, as I mentioned earlier, this webinar is being recorded, and I'll provide the recording as well as the slides after the webinar. Okay. So first off, this is me. I'm Julie Malmberg. I work at the Globe Implementation Office in Boulder, Colorado. I do education, outreach, and technology, and I've been running the Science Symposium since 2012. So I've been doing this for a while now, and it's really fun, probably one of my favorite things that I do. And I wanted to mention to you what the Science Symposium is. In case anybody is new to this, the Globe International Virtual Science Symposium is an online space for students to share and discuss Globe research. Oh, that's the first time. This is wonderful. I'm glad you're here then. And this gives students the opportunity to work with other students, STEM professionals, STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and math, and also the Globe community. It is open to all Globe students from kindergarten or about age 5 through undergraduate. We do have checklists or rubrics by grade level to help you plan for this too. So first off, I wanted to give you some numbers from last year. We had our virtual science symposium last year, which was fantastic. If you haven't looked through the projects, I encourage you to do so. We have volunteer mentors and judges. I wanted to give you some numbers from those. We had volunteer mentors and judges from all 6 Globe regions. And you can see that we had about 50 mentors and 61 judges. The mentors are available to assist students if they have questions. And the judges actually provide feedback on the projects. We really rely on these judges to get every student feedback on their project. And you can see a map here showing the locations of our mentors and judges. I like this map because it shows where everybody is in the world. So we really do have an international collaboration working on this, which is pretty unique for this program, and it's great to see so many locations represented here. And then there's a question about this in English. Yes, this is going to be in English. We've had Spanish presentations in the past. This one is going to be in English. Then the next part is about student projects. Last year we had 147 student projects. You can see the breakdown of countries and also regions. And we were thrilled to have projects from every single region. We're hoping to increase this even more this year to have more countries and more projects from each region. So it was wonderful to see how many people participated last year. And then we have a map version too to show you. Again, you can see the spread of all the projects. And these were the drawing winners from last year. I'll mention more about the drawing in a few minutes, but these projects right here, consider some of our exemplar projects. And if you have questions on what a project will look like, I encourage you to look at these ones. There are 2 from the United States, 1 from France and 1 from Israel, and they all scored very well in the Science Symposium last year. Okay, so this year, first off, here's our timeline. We will be, obviously today, you're joining us for the informational webinar. And I have the wrong dates, October 25th, obviously. And then between January and March 1st, we'll have reports accepted. You should note that due date of March 1st. It's earlier this year than other years, and to be in alignment with our Global Learning Expedition. So please take note of that March 1st due date. We'll have a judging webinar in the spring. And from March 18th to 24th, we'll have judging period. So the judges will be looking at projects then, asking questions and so forth. Then on April 6th, feedback from the judges as well as badges will be posted to all the student projects. And then also on April 6th, a live drawing for stipends. So for the projects, every single student who enters the Science Symposium will earn a student research badge. The one from last year is pictured here. And students earn points for this, and there are no limits to the projects that have the top ranking. Students earn badges between 1 and 4 badges, or 1 and 4 stars on this, and 4 stars being considered our top projects. And every single project could get 4 stars. So we try and provide ways for students to earn those points on the checklist I'll talk about in a few minutes. We also have 6 optional badges. Students can pick up to 3 out of the 6 optional badges. I'll describe these badges on the next slide. And in their reports, students should describe how each badge was earned in their actual report. And they'll also need to select their badges when uploading their project. And this should be noted that in order to be eligible for the drawing, students have to select 2 of these optional badges at minimum. So here are 6 optional badges. They are collaboration, community impact, connection to a STEM professional, engineering solution, exploring STEM careers, and interscholastic connection. So each one of these is described here, but I want to give you a little detail about them. So collaboration really encourages team members to define how they actually work together. This is a really important skill to have as a scientist or an engineer or other STEM professional, and it's to encourage students to think about how they do their project as a team. Community impact describes how a local issue led to the research, and then what the students do to help their community. Connection to a STEM professional. This is actually working with a mentor as a STEM professional and how it actually helped the student research. Engineering solution is thinking about ways to use engineering to solve a problem, and the student research should show that. Exploring STEM careers really encourages students to look at how they could use this information or the research for a future career option and what kind of careers are available. And the final one, interscholastic connection, encourages connections between different countries, different schools in the countries, and so forth. So again, these badges are intended to help students become better STEM citizens. Okay. So the drawing, this is an interest to many people. Every year we do a drawing of student projects that have earned a 4-star student research badge. Again, that's meeting many of the requirements for the reports. And they have to also pick at least 2 optional badges, which I just described in the previous slide. And those projects will be entered into a drawing. They'll take place on April 6th. Projects drawn will receive funds to help offset the cost of attendance at the annual meeting, or sorry, the Global Learning Expedition. I'm muting people here just to make sure. Okay. So it'll help offset costs of attendance at the Global Learning Expedition in Killarney, Ireland, which is taking place next summer. And we'll have 4 projects be drawn for this drawing, 2 international and 2 US, and each team of students will receive $2,000 total per project to help attend the learning expedition. And I put some pictures on here on the right of students last year, or this previous summer, at our Globe annual meeting in Connecticut. You see that top picture, all the students, we went to an island for a day and did research. And then the bottom picture shows a student presenting about his research project at a poster night. So the students tend to have a really fun time attending the annual meeting, and the Global Learning Expedition is even more excitement for students because it is focused on students. Okay. So I see a question here. So working with international partners is something that you can do data collection together, write a report together. Those ways we encourage students to explore how to connect with other countries or other partners too. But the best way is by sharing data and talking about the data in other places. And also reaching out to those partners and seeing who's active in the Globe community is a great idea too. Okay, so how to enter. All entries should include an abstract, a research report, a narrative on each badge completed, some sort of presentation, photo releases, and also, this is new this year, is our Globe Learning Expedition or GLE connection. And this is optional for people planning on attending the GLE. And I included here a poster of 2 students from Thailand who talked about mosquito larvae. It was a fantastic presentation that they gave. So I wanted to mention this part for connections to the Globe Learning Expedition. When submitting this year, think about these themes that are coming for the GLE. This again is only for students who plan on attending the GLE, but they should select a theme that closest fits for their research project. I've included the themes here. They are environmental problems and solutions, developing a sense of place, connections between observations and measurements across spheres, and then new technologies in Globe. And if you already have a project in mind and does not fit one of these things perfectly, that's okay. We can figure out where it can fit in there as well. But keep these themes in mind if you're still developing a project. I included a picture here of, this is Clarine National Park. And coming from Boulder, Colorado, where it's pretty dry, we don't have anything that's green. So I was in awe the whole time I was there of how incredibly green Ireland is. But this park is where we'll actually be during the learning expedition. And hopefully you can tell from the picture, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, so the presentations. We encourage presentations to the students because obviously it's important to communicate science. If you do science and don't share it, it's not going to help the world in any way. So there are 3 ways to share presentations for the IVSS. These can be done as a poster. We actually provide poster templates for students, a narrated PowerPoint, or Prezi or something similar, or to do this via video, and you can provide a video link. And here's an example of a student poster looking at nitrate concentrations of a river during a 6-month period. There are other options to look at presentations on previous projects. I encourage you to browse some of those projects and see the videos and PowerPoints and so forth that were created. Then how to enter. So for this part, the upload tool will be available in early 2018. And the button looks like this. It says upload your research report. You click on it and then fill in the information. And I have screenshots for a previous one. This will slightly change for the next one based upon new requirements we have for the GLE. So to go through this, you first are going to select your school or organization, the teacher name, and then provide the other information. And one thing I really wanted to point out is that you really need to add get this arrow up here. This International Virtual Science Symposium report, here you just select that button in order to make this show these other parts here. You can submit student reports all year long, but in order to have them be part of the IVSS, make sure to select that IVSS button in the report upload tool. And then you'll also be able to add your video link. And I want to mention here too that sometimes last year people uploaded their actual videos, and that gets to be pretty cumbersome in the system and it might not go through. So rather than uploading your video itself, make sure to provide a link to either YouTube or TeacherTube or Vimeo or another video hosting platform. So again, it's just the link to your video. You can also upload your, so a question about the video report, the reception platform. Do you mean like YouTube for that question? If you want to clarify that, I can let you know. Yeah, it's not to actually upload the video, but a link to it, a URL to the video. And then we'll provide the link itself in the student report rather than the actual video. Okay. Then we have the student presentation option. You can either do a poster or a video, so either way is fine. That photo release is pretty important. If you have any students in they're actually showing up in your video, make sure you include photo releases. Then we have the optional badges. Again, if you want to be included in the drawing, you have to select at least 2. And there's a maximum of 3. So pick the 3 that best fit with your project, make sure to describe them and select them here also. And at the bottom, there's a submit report. And we're hoping this year to get an email confirmation so you know your report has been received. That's one of the requests we had from last year, which would be really helpful for teachers. So this tool will look slightly different this coming year. It's being developed right now. And it'll look a little different, but it should be very, very similar to this. And again, any questions, put them in the chat window. So next I wanted to go through the IVSS website. I have a URL at the top here that I'm going to have at the top of every single slide about the website. This is a short URL to actually find the IVSS website. I update it every year to make sure it points to the correct one. So if you just bookmark this actual site, it'll always go to the most recent Science Symposium. So on the website, we have the overview page, which I provided here. This will have general announcements and the timeline. Then we have the instructions page, and this has all the information you need in order to submit a project. This includes the requirements, how things are scored, how the drawing works, the timeline, and so forth. If there's anything here that's not clear or you have questions about, please send us an email and we can make sure to clarify that. So this is a really important page as you're preparing your projects to make sure you meet the requirements. Then we have the rubrics or checklists. These are the same as we had last year. They worked really well for people last year, so we kept them the same. These rubrics were developed by Matt Zilberglet from West Ed. He did a fantastic job, and people seem to really appreciate having them. So this is actually how you're going to be scored in the projects. You can actually look at these rubrics or checklists, make sure you meet all the requirements. We have frequently asked questions. I try and compile questions that come in and put them here. So if you have a question, check here also. There's more than just on the screen, and I have some questions at the end that have been asked too, but make sure to check this page over as well. And we have resources. So if you want to see previous conferences or symposia, if you want to see how to create research projects and tips, some webinars that are archived or that we have that are upcoming, this is a place to check. This also has the poster template, the presentation posters. You can see here it's as a PowerPoint or a PDF. It can be modified in the PowerPoint to fit how you need it. And if you have any resources that you would like to see that aren't here, please let me know. We will make this useful to you, so make sure you let me know like what's missing for this. And this is new this year. We actually are allowing students and teachers, if they are looking for a mentor. So yes, this will be available as a recording after this is finished. So the recording will be available for you to share with whoever you like to share it with. So this part again is new. It's student group looking for mentors. I really encourage any mentors to look on this page and see what students need. We are asking teachers to provide information about their student groups and then decide what they need. So as you can see on here that some students need help with data sets, or they're trying to look at different kinds of monitoring. So if you are a STEM professional or know any who'd like to mentor, please encourage them to look at this page. And for people who need assistance, we have a form on that same page to request for a mentor. It's a Google form that you fill out and goes to a spreadsheet, and then we'll update this page to have the most recent information on it. So any teachers can do this. We're asking that teachers do this rather than students. We prefer to have mentors connect teachers. So again, teachers, fill out this form if you have any questions or students need a mentor. Okay. Then we have mentoring. So this is for volunteers to sign up if they want to help students. There are two ways that mentors can help. There are scoring projects in the spring, which is we need lots of mentors and volunteers to help out with. I included a quote here that I got from a scientist this past year. She said, "Thank you for the opportunity to score the student research. These students give me hope for our future." So that was fantastic to hear that the scientists get a lot out of it too. And for scoring, we encourage STEM professionals, scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians, as well as global alumni, teachers, graduate students, and the other interested community members to help us score these projects. And you do not need a Globe account to score. We actually have a scientist account that you can use to score the projects. And the second way is mentoring students. And for this one, we have a page of people who volunteered to assist students that they can contact. I'll show that on a couple screens from now. But I wanted to say that these two ways to volunteer are incredibly necessary for this. So if you know of anybody or if you yourself are interested, we would really appreciate your help with scoring or mentoring. We have a sign-up sheet that's available here. So this is the bottom of that same page where we ask people to sign up to help and ask your role, how you want to help. You don't have to do scoring and mentoring. You can do one or the other if you're interested. We provide assistance on how to score and also have a webinar to help scoring too. So again, we really need a lot of help with this. So if you know anybody interested or if you yourself are interested, please sign up. Then we have people who have signed up. This screenshot is from this morning. So you can see we have a few signups, but we really need a lot more in order to provide those mentors for students. This is a place where students can go look and see who has volunteered to help. And their email address, their area of research, their language they speak, and all are available here. So this is people who signed up in that previous form to assist students. And then we also have shareable images. So if you like these new images we have, feel free to download them and share them. We'd love to get this information out there so people know more about the Science Symposium. So please, again, feel free to use these images. And yeah, they're available for download. We have different dates on them. We have the due date, the judging dates, and also the announcement date as images. Okay, then the checklists. I wanted to mention these specifically. Again, these are the same as they were last year. And this first one shows for the student research badge, how students earn stars. So you can see the 4-star information on the left and how to actually earn that. These are again broken down by grade level. So the kindergarten to 2nd grade one is going to be different than the undergraduate or high school one. But this should be a way for you to go through and see how to earn as many stars as possible. And then there are additional badges too. These are describing what's required for each badge and what should be mentioned in the student report. So for example, that collaboration one, the team members should be listed with their roles defined. So again, this is available on the rubric page, and you can pick up to 3 of the optional badges. Then here are the requirements for each grade band also. the items in bold are required to be part of the Science Symposium. And in order to get the higher stars, you can include all the elements. But if you're brand new to this and just want to try it out, just make sure to include those required ones. So for each one, that ones again are in bold are required. And you can see that more things are required for the older grades. I'll go through each one, and you can see that middle school requires less intense than high school. And then the lower grades too require a little bit less information. And then the lowest grades, we try to make this great for little kids to do this as well. So I encourage you to look at the rubrics and checklists to make sure that you understand what's required in the reports. Okay, so for the last few minutes of this, I want to mention some questions we received. And if you have any questions, as I'm going through this, we can answer those too. But I'll go through, I think there are 9 questions we've gotten. Maria, yes, everything that I'm mentioning here is all available online. And these slides will also be available online after the webinar. So first question, do my students have to enter a project into the IVSS or the Science Symposium in order to attend the GLE? And the answer for that one is no. All GLOBE students are welcome to the GLE. When the registration opens, make sure to register early. It could potentially fill up. So again, you do not have to do an IBSS project for the GLE. But the feedback that you receive from your project could really help your GLE project. So keep that in mind too. You will get feedback from judges on your IBSS project before the GLE. Second question, does entering a project into the IVSS mean I am going to attend the GLE? And this one also is no. If you are not going to the GLE, you can still take part in the IVSS. We would love for students, any student in the GLOBE country to participate in the IVSS regardless of their planned attendance at the GLE. Third question, do my students have to write their reports in English? And this one currently is yes, if they want to be scored. If they just want to do a project in their own language and not have it be scored, that's perfectly fine. However, we don't have enough judges to score projects in all the other languages. So again, students have to do it in English. We do give judges guidelines that they don't have to be perfect English. If your students use Google Translate or another translation software to help them translate, that's perfectly fine. We don't grade on grammar or spelling. As long as the meaning is gotten across, that's great. And videos can be done the student's first language and captioned in English to make sure we can understand the video. But they want to do their video in different language and caption it, that's perfectly fine too. Okay, next question, who can judge projects? I've already mentioned this part. We put a minimum of 1 STEM professional on each project. We usually have more than that. We have 3 judges total per project, and they can be a combination of, again, that minimum of 1 STEM professional. The other ones can be teachers, graduate students, community members, alumni, people who have familiarity with projects and GLOBE tend to score the projects. So again, a minimum of 1 scientist or STEM professional. And then the other 2 could be other categories. Then, do judges have to be part of the GISN or GLOBE International STEM Network? And the answer to that one also is no. Any interested scientist and professional can volunteer to score. We have a generic account they can use to ask questions, and then the Google form can be completed by anybody. So do you know a scientist who's not able to commit to the GISN at this point but wants to help out still? That's a great way for them to take part in this. Next question, why aren't the instructions translated? And this one is we need volunteers to translate them. So if you or somebody you know could help us translate the instructions, I'd love to post them on the website. If you want to do it as a PDF or a document, I can get those up there. Instructions are pretty much going to stay the same as they are now. So if you, again, want to translate, that'd be fantastic. Okay, then do I have to pick optional badges to be eligible for the drawing? And this one is yes. All students receive the student research badge, but they have to have 2 additional badges to be eligible for the drawing. and they should describe those badges in their report. So this is an important thing to be eligible for the drawings. You have to have at least 2 other badges. Then, my students have never participated in a science fair or symposium before. Can they take part? This is definitely, we have new students participate every year. And the feedback that we encourage judges to give should help them grow as scientists and STEM people, so they can actually learn more about science practices and so forth. So we really encourage students who are new to participate. You don't have to go for a 4-star badge your first time, but if you want to, definitely can. But we encourage people to try it out and see how it is. Then the final question, can younger students enter a project? This is also yes. We have guidelines for younger kids as low as age 5. And we also have a webinar all about how lower kids can participate that's on the resources page. So we do encourage those lower grades to participate, and they've had some fantastic projects in the past. We obviously don't score them in the same criteria that a high school student we scored on. So if you have lower students' grades, I would definitely encourage you to also take part. And their videos and presentations can be fantastic too. Then here's how you find information online. I provided the short URL, which also Roller has put in the chat window. Thank you, Roller. And then here's, if you're going to globe.gov, how you find it. You go to globe.gov, select News and Events, Meetings and Symposia, and then Virtual Science Symposia. And you can see the most recent one as well as past symposia there as well. And I'm going to review the timeline again. So again, today's the informational webinar, which is actually October 25th. I'll fix that before I upload these slides. And then reports accepted January through March 1st. Again, that due date is March 1st. We'll have a judging webinar in the spring. We'll probably in March, judging webinar. And then we'll have a period of judging from March 18th to 24th. And then feedback and badges, as well as a live drawing on April 6th. It's important to note these dates. We have a pretty tight schedule this year in order to provide people with time to register for the GLE and also get their visas and plane tickets and so forth. So we do have an earlier date this year. And thanks, Maria. We had our graphic designer here design these, and I really like the new update to it too. So feel free to share those. And that is it. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat window, or you can also feel free to email me or help@globe.gov if you have any questions. Thanks, Mike.
Everything is perfectly understandable. I believe it's pretty clear. All the instructions, perfect. Love the poster. Love the badges. We are very enthusiastic with this.
Fantastic. Thank you, Maria. Yep. Thanks, Allison. Thanks, Ethan. So Sarah, no, there's only this webinar. However, it's going to be archived and recorded, or it's being recorded right now, and I'll put it up for viewing on the website. There will be a webinar for judges in the spring, probably in March, but this is the only 2018 informational webinar. I'm so happy all of you came today. Thank you again. And if you have questions or need more clarification, please let me know. Or if you want to translate, let me know. That's great. I'd love to have some earlier projects. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, one quick question. Is there a general topic or theme for the virtual science fair, the Symposium?
No, students can do anything they'd like for this. We do have those themes for the GLE, but for the Science Symposium itself, students can do whatever their interests are. So that's, as long as it's globe related, they're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
The GLE theme.
I can show you those. Thank you, Amalia. So there are 3 strands for the GLE, and those are here.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
With my picture of Ireland. This is Clarion National Park.
Beautiful.
But students, again, do not have to do these themes if there are these, for the IVSS, this is only for the GLE, and to encourage them to look at these themes. Okay, well, I'm going to stop the recording. I will still stay in here. There's more questions.